In this tutorial, we will be discussing the retained earnings proof. What you would have noticed when uploading a trial balance is that Quick Consoles is running what is called a retained earnings proof. And what this essentially means is that when a trial balance is uploaded into the system, Quick Consoles is checking the retained earnings GL account number, and it is making sure that that value in that GL does not move between fiscal periods 1 and fiscal periods 12. The only time that we expect retained earnings to move is between periods 12 and periods 1, when the retained earnings of the prior financial year is actually recycled into retained earnings. Now, it does sometimes happen from time to time that users process entries against retained earnings either directly, perhaps as a dividend declared or a dividend paid, but also perhaps in relation to prior period errors that may have been posted or corrected through an audit process. When Quick Console sees the retained earnings value actually move during the year, Quick Consoles will actually write that difference or that movement into a retained earnings adjustments GL. And this just simply helps the system keep track of what is actually going through the P&L and any kind of adjustments that are made to retained earnings. Now, from time to time, it can happen if trial balances are getting uploaded backwards, for example, into prior periods, or if there are sometimes gaps in trial balances, it can cause the retained earnings proof not to run or not to fully run. In those types of scenarios, you will end up with, in some cases, an unbalanced balance sheet. And of course, what we need to then do is reverse the retained earnings proof and just rerun that process. So go ahead and select the particular company which your balance sheet is not balanced or where the retained earnings proof needs to be rerun. And all we need to do is hit this button here, Run Retained Earnings Reversal. Select the TB type in question. And all that's left for us to do is run retained earnings proof again. This time we're actually running the process from beginning to end, and that process has completed. This should balance out any unbalanced balance sheets and will make sure that the proof has then correctly run.